Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another stupendous Musical People and Journeys, The Rock Show. Yes, we are live with my amazing crew. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Dave. Welcome,
Morning.
Trish. And a special welcome to our newbie to the panel. Welcome, Dom.
Hi, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, we're good, my friend. We're good. Are you ready to rock? Are you ready? Are you excited, Dom, to be part of the crew?
I'm just like, my whole week is like topped by this. Been looking forward to it for so long. It's been great.
Great. Excelente. Excelente. Right. Okay. Right. The first Battle of the Bands. So this is how we're going to do it. The first Battle of the Bands today is the legends that are Paramore versus you, me at 6. So Paramore's album This Is Why, and you, me at 6 at that album Truth, Decay. And then we're going to see which one as a panel we would like to buy the most. But more importantly, we will then rate them out of 5. Will any of them reach our hallowed Hall of Fame or even our top 20? Will they get into Album of the Year? Who knows? Right, who have we got here? Who are these bands? Well, let's find out, shall we? So, Paramore. Paramore is... Who are they? They're an American rock band from Franklin, Tennessee, formed in 2004. The band currently consists of lead vocalist Hayley Williams, guitarist Taylor York, and drummer Zach Farrow. Williams and Farrow are founding members of the group, while York, a high school friend of the original lineup, joined in 2007. The group released its debut album, We All Know Is Falling, in 2005, with the album reaching number 4 in the UK rock chart in 2009 and number 30 in the Billboard Heatseekers my apologies, chart in 2006. Dun dun dun. Right. Well, Paul, let's start with the legend that is Paul and with the legend that is Paramore. Paul, This Is Why. Is it? Yeah. Was it? This Is Why? Tell me why, Paul. Tell me why this is, and was it any good?
Are you sure you want to start off with me?
Absolutely. Of course we do. Why would we not?
Okay then. Well, US band Paramore are back after 6 years. Post Gen Z, post art punk rock, post grunge, post pandemic. The lead singer, Hayley Williams, has plenty to say about the world we live in, and she always will. She's older now, a divorcee due to her husband's infidelity, a strong campaigner, wiser, maybe. All this reflects in her opinion of the world, the news, and other people's opinions, etc. Even though there is humour in her irony and the music and production is tight, it's extremely boring. On the verge of being lounge music to myself. No matter how many times I've listened to this, I keep on thinking if I went to see them live, I would be best armed with a deck chair and a pillow to make sure my hour's nap would at least be comfortable.
My God, but Paul, this is a legend of Paramore.
It's boring. It is absolutely boring. Every time I listen to it, I just wanted it to end. And I give it 3 times, and that was it. I just couldn't take any more. I'll never, ever listen to this again.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see if people want to have a nap alongside you. Dave, do you want to jump into bed with Paul?
Well, I don't know about that, but
there's only one enough room for me on my deck chair.
Well,
as far as this album goes, though, I've got to agree with Paul. I absolutely love Paramore's early stuff, but there's just no energy in this. There are a few good moments, but for the most part, it is boring. The first time I listened to this, I turned it off about 3/4 of the way through and stuck their early album Riot on because I was like, I just wanted to listen to that. I was like, yeah, it was much better in those days. They just seem to have lost all the energy they had in their first few albums, and yeah, just absolutely nothing for me, this at all.
Wow. Boys, we are boys and girls, I should say. We were crucifying the legends of Paramore. This cannot be happening. Trish, tell me this cannot be happening. Had you heard of Paramore before? Because everybody goes on about playing Paramore, and I never really listened to their early stuff. Had you?
I'd heard of them. It's not something that I would turn to. I haven't bought their album or anything like that. But this album, I thought the self-titled opening track was upbeat and quirky. it had a catchy chorus that gets you singing along. And this is how I hoped the rest of the album would be for me, as I've not been a great follower of Paramore. So might be enticed to become a new fan. Unfortunately, I won't be. As I listened to the album, I gradually switched off. It lost me. I couldn't tell you why. I even gave it 3 more listens in case I was being harsh, but each time it was the same. Nothing engaged me or even to take interest in what they were singing about. It was just nice background music. I really wish I had more positive notes to say about this album, as I'm sure it deserves higher praise from someone that can fully appreciate it.
I'm speechless. Dom, the newbie, can you come? Dom, can you come to the rescue of Paramore? Surely, Dom, come to the rescue, Paramore here.
Oh, I feel like the pressure is on now. Look, it was. See, I love Paramore. Paramore are amazing, and they kind of fit into that pop punk kind of emo pop kind of style, which is great. And yeah, their early stuff is amazing. And in fact, some of their middle releases they've got, like Hard Times, Ain't It Fun, they were really amazing songs. And what the difference is with that and this album is just kind of catchy tunes, really, and riffs and things like that. I had best quote I heard about Hayley Williams is that she's the anti-Avril Lavigne. I don't know if you read that. Is this because she's this incredible performer, and that's my feeling about it. One thing is Paramore are a live band; they're amazing. I've never actually seen them live, but you can find loads of their live stuff on YouTube. And she's this incredible, ball of energy, and an amazing singer as well. But yeah, this album's just kind of, there's nothing that's particularly stand out about it. Nothing wrong with it. It's taken them 6 years to produce this album. That's kind of mad, isn't it, really? I think they could have come up with something just more catchy in that time. So it was all right. But yeah, I wouldn't listen to it again either. I'd go to their early stuff. That's where I'd go.
Well, you're all Philistines, the lot of you. This is a damn fine album. It's a really good album. It is. I haven't got hooked up on Paramore. I mean, I heard a few tracks here and there, but everybody goes, "Oh, the Legends of Paramore," and that was the age where I missed out on all of this sort of music that was that was around at the time. And it was more melodic rock, but I like catchy tunes. I like catchy tunes. I like nice melodic rock. This was it had up tempo numbers. She had slower numbers. I think maybe I don't know. I've never listened to her stuff, but don't get me wrong, it wasn't an album that I would, rush to or get into. But I thought it was a damn fine album. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice. It was relaxing. It was fun. It was easy listening. It was good. You're all horrible people.
If I was you, I mean, it's interesting you say that because you've never listened to some of their older stuff. But if you listen to that album compared to, as I say, they're probably their best known album, Riot. It's night and day, absolutely night and day.
Yeah, but I don't look back. Don't look back, look forward. Come on, we've got to keep looking forward. We've got to move on,
You're not going to look back in anger.
I've heard most of today's music, so if I didn't look back, I think I'd probably cry.
My theory is that she's just older now. I've looked up, she's 34 years old, and she's in a band that for teenagers, really, and trying to hold on to something that she doesn't fit that genre now. So I think she's probably trying to evolve into something else. But yeah, you're missing the point of Paramore, really.
Right.
Go for their early stuff. You won't regret it.
No, I won't. I like this. Anyway, right. Will it be enough, though? Obviously, who are we pitching Paramore up against? The mighty Paramore. If you were me, or if you were me at 6, then maybe you were quirking in your boots thinking you're up against Paramore. You've got no chance, but maybe they do. Who are Who are You, Me at Six? Well, You, Me at Six are... Now, this is gonna shock everybody, okay? Because they are an English rock band. I know this is a rarity, all right? Okay, they are, they're not from bloody Sweden. They are an English rock band from Weybridge in Surrey. They're literally just up the road. Okay, the band consists of lead singer Josh, and this is not English, Franceschi, guitarist Max Haler, and Chris Miller, bassist Matt Barnes, and drummer Daniel Flint. Formed in 2004, the name of the group originated as an abbreviation for the group making Friday night plans after a concert. See, that doesn't make sense. You mean it's 6 after a concert? I mean, that's before the concert, surely. Anyway, the band has released 7 studio albums and 1 live album. The group achieved initial success in 2008 with their release of their debut album, Take Off Your Colours, which included singles Save It for the Bedroom, Finders Keepers, which you'll find in the bedroom, and Kiss and Tell, which you'll find in the bedroom, with the latter 2 peaking at number 33 and number 42 respectively on the UK singles chart. Right, well, by the sound of it, will they be good enough to be Paramore? Dave, then, my friend, let's start with you. You me at 6. Was it your cup of tea? Was it your dinner?
No, definitely not. I really struggle to find anything to say about this because it's just meh. It is what it is. There's not really much to it. It reminded me in a way of pop punk, just with more whining, and less melody and sort of less energy to it. It was just boring. There was just nothing about it that grabbed me at all. I accidentally listened to it last month because I thought it was on last month's one, and there was nothing that actually inspired me to go back and listen to it again this month. I just went, well, I've already listened to it. It's fine. I'm not going to go back and listen to it again. I've got no interest in doing that at all.
Wowzers. There might be hope for Paramore, or will there be Trish? You, me at 6, cup of tea at dinner time at 6 o'clock. Would you make plans after a concert? I don't know what that means, but there we go.
This album had some catchy choruses with the instrumentals and the odd whoa vocal along the way.
Sorry, with the odd what? I didn't quite catch that. Sorry, there was a slight break up in the video.
Well, watch the video back and you can.
No.
Watch it
Say it again.
times.
Say it again. The odd what? What?
There are some songs on the album that will probably make fans' playlists, I'm sure. But whilst it was an enjoyable listen for me, this album could have been a lot more solid and some songs could have been trimmed back a bit. There are strong efforts from this band, but they simply aren't strong enough to counter the shortfalls.
Oh, what sort of shortfalls, Trish? Was there too many? Whoa!
Oh, God help me. I just felt that some of the songs were a bit too long and just could have been trimmed back. So then, they lost my interest a little bit.
Okay. Right. Well, Dom, had you heard of this band?
Yeah. No, absolutely heard them. They're interestingly, it's good you compare them together because they've been around about a similar amount of time. They've been around a long time. You mean at 6, and they've toured with Paramore loads.
Have they? Wow.
Yeah, they have. But I actually quite liked it. It was all right. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't incredible, but it was all right. I mean, I like English accents when you're singing. I think that just sounds better to me, to my ears. And they're definitely harder than Paramore, and they've got riffs. See, Paramore didn't have any riffs. There's no riffs in that album at all.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. There was. We won't go there, but yes, there was.
No way. There were some pretty solid riffs in this album, and they just had a slightly more rougher edge to them. I think it was pop punk. Some of their early stuff, far more kind of hardcore, post-hardcore, screamo kind of stuff in there. There's little bits of edges of that in there, but they were kind of it felt a bit like it was held back. So I rated it. I would definitely have that on a playlist. There's some good tracks in there.
Cool, Paul. You me at 6.
Yumi at 6. Caitlin Chatterton wrote, there's a tried and tested recipe for a Yumi at 6 banger.
Who?
Simply, she's a reviewer. Simply add one earworm riff to a soaring chorus, finish off with an angst-driven bridge. The band obviously know this, and the opening single, Deep Cuts, feels like a hit molded from muscle memory. I mentioned this as I can find no better way to sum up Yumi at 6's latest album, Truth Decay. It lacks the power and intensity of the early 2010 work, but it's a solid album with plenty of diversity. Tracks like Deep Cuts and After Love in the After Hours, they have long titles to some of these songs, have made my playlist, and I even like the last track, A Love Letter to Those Who Feel Lost, with Cody Frost as a quieter affair. After Paramore, this almost sounded like Bliss, but I'll agree with Dom, it was an okay album.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think it was an okay album. I think it was. There was. It just. Do you know when you can? And I found a lot of this month actually. Of songs albums actually you really did enjoy but didn't really love. They were just really good, solid albums, and this kind of fitted into that as well. But I did like one of the tracks I did was After Love in the After. I thought that was a cracking tune, and it was a solidly good, enjoyable album without it really hitting the highs of my sweet spots. If you see what I mean. So, but yeah, good. Really good. Another thoroughly enjoyable, solid album. But yeah, it's not something I wouldn't switch on. Did I like it? But more than Paramore? Well, let's find out, shall we? Because we're going to get to that rating time. How do we rate these? How do we rate these albums? And so, fancy who might win on this one, but we'll find out. And just for the record, we're going to rate out of 5. And this is not a rating of how technically great we or commercial we think the album, but this is purely how much we enjoyed the album out of 5. Okay, so now there are only 16 out of the 180 odd albums that we reviewed. There are only 16 that have made our mighty Hall of Fame. And to get that, you need to score over an average of 4. However, to get into our top 20, you need to get an average of 3.9, 19.5, 19 to get our top 30, 18.5 to get our top 33, 18 to get our top 36, and the hollowed top 50, you need to get a 7.5. However, there's also our top albums of 2023, and right now you need just to get our top 10 in 17.5 because this is only our 3rd month for the year. So let's find out then, shall we? Paul, let's start with you. Paramore,
I give a mighty 1.
1. Yeah, you're sick of me. And Yumi at 6.
3.
3. Okay, Dave.
Paramore 2.
Paramore 2. Yumi at 6.
2.
2. Oh, Dave. You've only got £10 in your pocket, mate. £15 in your pocket. Which one are you going to buy?
If I had to, I'd buy Paramore just because it inspired me to go back and listen to one of the better albums.
And so you should. I mean, absolutely. Well, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to keep the collection going.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. Well, not good so far. Trish, Paramore.
1.5.
You guys are killing me. And Yumi at 6.
2.5.
Okay, well, Dom, welcome to the show. 2-1 to you and me at 6. Fancy, I know where this is going. Dom, Paramore.
I'll give Paramore 2. I was, just out of nostalgia. I feel for them. I want them to do well.
You me at 6.
2.5. It's a bit better.
Wow. Wow. Bring back Chris, I say. Bring it back.
go that far.
You guys are.
Chris will give lower marks.
Your Hearts of Stone. I give Paramore a 4. I loved it. I thought it was a cracking album. And You Me at 6 got a 3.5. Wowzers, you guys are really on depressants or something. I mean, come on. Right, okay, Paramore, 4.5, 5, 7, 9. Children, no, it's more than that. It's 8, 9, 10.5. Oh, at least it got into double figures. Wow, shocking. You Me at 6, 3.5, 4, 6, 9, 11, 13.5. Well, at least it's above average. At least, I mean, what? I don't know. That's not even in our top 100, for God's sake. I mean, these are good albums, you guys. Right, well, I'm in shock. I am in absolute shock, you guys. Oh, well, let's hope the rest of the month goes better.
You're saying that. I'm in shock. You give Paramore.
I enjoyed it. I genuinely did. And do you know
I think
what?
the three of us were listening to something else compared to Nigel.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you
Maybe.
reckon?
Do you know what? Sometimes music is subjective. Of course, it is, and sometimes you can be in a particular mood. But I was talking to Paul in the week, and I was like, "Really?" And because he was telling me what he was thinking of Paramore, and I'm going, "Well, I'll have another listen." And I went, I still enjoyed the album. I mean, despite the criticism, I still enjoyed the album. I don't know. Maybe
I think it's interesting that you're listening to it from a perspective of never having really heard a lot of their back catalogue, though. And I think potentially, that would make a difference.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
probably. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because we haven't had any of our Hall of Famers come back yet and do another album. Because I'm almost frightened about because we know Hearts and Hand Grenades that we went and saw a concert. We met them, and they're hopefully going to bring out a new album later on in the year. And it's like it'd be interesting to see what we're talking about here when we've rated a band that's into its Hall of Fame. And do you know what? By the way, I'm just gonna put an interesting fact here, guys, because we went and saw Hearts and Hand Grenades, White Raven Down, both in our Hall of Fames. And it was amazing, but it was also sad because these bands are big acts, stage acts, and yet they're playing in crowds of 50, 60 people around this UK tour that they were on. And do you know what? That made me think that we do this, okay? We do it for fun, and it's great. And our viewing numbers can range from anywhere from 15 to I think the most has 150. And you go to yourself, wow, are we having any sort of impact? Well, let me tell when we uncover these great new bands and we talk about them, we get them out there, and we had over 100 odd people, about 120 watch our interview for White Raven Down. Well, that's more people than they can get sometimes to the gigs, and yet they tour all around the UK to just keep growing those numbers slowly, incrementally, bit by bit. And it was fascinating. I had a real good conversation with Mike, who's the leader of Hearts and the Hand Grenades, about. I said, why don't surely getting into a support act on a big act would do you good. And I was shocked to discover that support acts have to buy the slot of a support act.
Yeah.
And it can be like £20,000 plus, 20 grand, and then the lead band take a cut of their merc.
Yeah, even small gigs, like your average gigs that you'd see somewhere like the Brook or somewhere like that in Southampton, a lot of those are pay to play. So a lot of the bands that will actually be paying to play rather than actually getting paid for it, and it's just so they can get some exposure. And it's just the way the music industry's gone, I'm afraid.
So if you are listening to this, please like and subscribe, and if you like a band, go and support them. Buy a little bit of their merc because they needed it. I mean, I know Hearts and Hand Grenades, they're back in the UK, but they lost a lot of money coming here on this UK tour for certain, and they're amazing. And obviously not and just as amazing as Paramore. But there we go. Right, swiftly moving on. I hope you enjoyed the show. Ratings will come in below. Please like and subscribe to our wonderful show. Thank you very much for joining us today, and well done, Yumi at 6. Take some consolation that you believe beat Paramore, who you've supported in the past, and you've obviously, according to my panel, have surpassed them. Anyway, all the best, good luck, goodbye, keep rocking on, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.